and welcome to the world through electro specs. Apparently I'm I don't know, I'm Caleb.
And I am still Pete.
Yeah, apparently I was just pretending to be a really crappy impersonation of I should know the original Star Trek guy. William Shatner.
William Shatner.
Yeah.
Shatner.
Welcome to the world through electro specs. I am Caleb.
Okay.
See what I mean?
I guess I see where you're going with that.
Really,
That was,
or at least like a really extreme version of his weird vocal tics.
yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Vocal tics. Can you imagine how terrible that would be if you had tics on your vocal cords?
God help us all.
That would be terrible.
Yes. And that, like ticks, plural. You know, it's not
more than one.
It's not just one. It's multiple. See, I'm like, oh my God.
You're already itching. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you just look at the camera to see if you had your itching in frame?
Yeah, I'm like, we got extra lights. That thing seems really hot though, but you know, that's
So is it a little warm?
It's a little warm. Hi, Caleb.
It is. Yeah, it is a little warm.
Whoa.
Oh, you're in that frame now too.
There we go. You know, it's just some small little tweaks here and there. We got some new additions. Finally got the audio correct. I got to apologize to our listeners and viewers for the last audio.
We have to. It wasn't just your fault. It was our fault.
Yeah. That audio was. Thanks for hanging in there. If you hung in there through that.
Yeah, there was something with the last episode where the audio was just really quiet. Yeah. I ran it through Audition to try to clean it up a little bit, and I did everything I could to make it normal audio levels.
Yeah.
I ran it through a few filters. I changed the. I just changed a bunch of stuff. I can't remember exactly what I changed, but it still ended up peaking out a little bit. So there's still a few spots where we'll say something and it'll just like. So, ooh, that was a really, jeez.
Yeah.
How did I make that sound effect?
I don't know, but don't get it started again. That'd be bad. I was just checking our settings, and I think we're good to go. So
that sounded like somebody plugging in a stereo jack. That was good. I don't know how I did that.
We're gonna master this one day. It'll be epic.
We're gonna have our own soundboard, but we're just like using our mouths soundboard. Mm-hmm. Right now, all I can do is so.
Well, fantastic. So, you know what I did last night?
What?
Speaking about great audio, is I watched a movie. I actually watched LaLa Land.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
I was blown away.
Doesn't so who's in that? That's Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah.
The goose guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ryan Gosling.
I'm so bad with actors and actresses.
You're going to bring up a movie, you don't even know who's in it.
Oh. I'm so bad with that.
For a show like this, with the two of us and the things we're interested in, we should have IMDb like on a hair trigger ready to go, you know?
Right? Who? Oh yeah, I know that person for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, fantastic actor.
Or we could have a guest on the show, Siri, you know.
Yeah.
We need an Amazon Echo in here.
Yeah. But it was a great film. I thought it would be anyhow. It has 39 nominations for different awards. It has 4 Academy Awards.
So to steal and totally botch a joke from a different podcast that I listened to, I heard that you can summarize that movie basically by saying, I like jazz, you like jazz? Yeah, I like jazz. Let's go jazz about it. And then they go jazz somewhere. It's pretty much the gist of the movie.
Yeah, no, I say that really underplays it. But
you think so?
Yeah.
Well, it's a full-length film. It's a feature-length film. It's got a lot more to it. Yeah.
It's a musical. It's a modern-day musical. It is based around jazz and dance. There's a lot of dance in it. So that's really fantastic. And it was really nice because they threw in a modern-day kind of jazz twist to it.
Oh.
So I don't know if there's this like thought that maybe there's an opportunity to give jazz a resurgence, which would be fantastic. I'm a huge jazz fan. Today I actually wore my jazz hat, see? So,
jazz hat or like 90s ska fan?
Whatever. Yeah. The thing.
Yes, it wasn't okay.
Planned.
I just looked it up. It was Ryan Gosling. Oh, and Emma Stone?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Yeah.
Look at that.
It's a love story. The ending
between two very good-looking people.
Yeah. Of course. But the ending.
Well, I mean, they could have hired like
the ending
Carrot
shocks.
Top or something.
Yeah. The ending shocks.
Okay.
Shock value.
I'm going to take a guess. Spoiler alert. It was all a dream. They were asleep the whole time.
No.
Okay.
But interestingly, that
turns out they were in purgatory.
Something to do with the end. But I'm not going to tell anymore.
The last episode ends with the same dog that the first episode starts on.
Dog?
I'm referencing Lost. I think I've lost you.
You have lost me with your Lost reference.
So
now we've lost time.
You haven't seen Lost at all?
I hate that show.
You didn't like it?
No.
It was a show that
that was a pretty straightforward, confident answer, wasn't it?
No.
No.
What didn't you like about it? Let's talk about that.
I don't know. So a lot of those shows, I put Lost in the same rankings as The Bachelor.
Really?
It's like extraordinary, stupid, unnecessary drama.
Okay, I will say after you've got like quite a few seasons in, once you get into the meat and the potatoes of the show, it is a lot of like, oh, I wonder who's going to argue with who this episode.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. It just, yeah. And I'm just like, I
will say once the story really starts wrapping up towards the end of the series, and so I'd say the beginning and the end of the series are really, really good. The middle gets a little, it does get a little like that. I had the same issue with The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I would classify if we were to classify Lost in that category, I would put The Walking Dead in that category. I stopped watching The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and
right.
When season 3 was on TV, and at that point I wasn't streaming anything. I was just watching everything as the episodes came out, and I was DVRing them. I think we talked about that last episode where I don't really like watching TV unless I can skip the commercials.
Right.
I found myself fast forwarding. It was an hour. It was a 45-minute, like an hour-long program.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an hour-long episode. I found myself fast forwarding through like half of it, and so I would sit there and I would fast forward.
There are so many commercials on that show.
I specifically remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the character was. I don't remember the character names at all. But I specifically remember there was a section. Maybe it was season 2. I think it was season 3 though. When there was like a guy, and then there was like a girl with her kid, and they were on train tracks. They were like following train tracks through the forest.
Oh yeah.
But for a series of like 5 episodes, it was just the two of them arguing over stuff by the train tracks.
Right.
So I found myself, and every now and then they would go back to the main characters.
Yep.
But so I found myself every week I would open up the DVR menu and I would play the episode, and I would sit there and I would hit fast forward and I would skip the commercials, but then I would keep going while the camera angle was going back and forth between them because they were arguing about something, and then I would stop.
Wow.
I would stop and push play when I saw them going to something else because I knew that everything they were talking about wasn't going to be interesting. It was just them arguing the whole time. After about 3 or 4 episodes of that, I was like, you know what? I don't really need to watch this show anymore.
Wow.
I don't really care that much anymore. If I'm fast forwarding through most of it because most of it's just talking, I don't care that much anymore.
Sorry about that. We're just reaching over that way.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one show that I...
But you felt Lost was the same way.
Yeah, but The Walking Dead, I lost myself a little bit in season 4 and 5. It's like, whatever. It's just, whatever. But just...
What do you mean you lost yourself?
Unrewarding. I just lost interest in it, just like I'd catch it now and then and whatever. But you could watch like 5 episodes later and kind of listen to the story in that episode, and you can kind of figure out what happened, leading up to it. But yeah, and that's kind of the reason why I don't get into too many TV shows either, because, just
a lot of it's they're dangling a carrot.
Yeah.
And they're answering a few questions from the last episode, but they give you 2 times more questions so that you tune in the next week.
You know what show was great for that?
Lost was like that a lot.
You know what show was great for that? And I couldn't wait. I actually binged watched the thing. Breaking Bad.
I haven't watched any Breaking Bad yet.
My goodness. So
how many seasons does Breaking Bad have?
5?
That's not too bad.
I think only 5. It may be 7, but I don't think so. I think it was only 5.
Is it a typical? Are they 24 episode seasons, or are they like 12 or 13?
I think they're less than 24. I want to say maybe 12 or 18.
Okay,
for some weird reason. Yeah.
So it's more like the half season kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And man, that one was fantastic because they would end the episode with a dilemma or 3, and you're like, great. And then you're waiting for the beginning of the next episode to kind of solve one of those or more of those problems. And they would get those resolved, but then that resolution would always lead them to another problem. Oh God, it was very captivating for some reason. And the actors were fantastic, of course. You got Dope. Yeah, you got those actors. Bryan Cranston, yes.
That dude's amazing.
The guy that played Alan, Whoa.
How do you spell his last name? Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Shoot. Sorry, listeners. Oh, well.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Somebody out there is yelling at us.
I barely remember my kids' names. Come on,
You have kids?
Yeah.
No,
they got names.
That was a joke.
They got names too. Kiddo and Brat. I don't know. Yeah.
Boyo. Either boyo.
Yeah.
So from somebody who has watched more Walking Dead than I have and has actually seen Breaking Bad, which I have not.
Okay.
What do you think of that? What do you think of the like the fan theory that they're in the same universe and that whatever drug they were creating in Breaking Bad is what caused the zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead?
So what crazy fool put that in your head? So there's my
it's
answer.
A thing. You've never heard of that?
No, that's ridiculous.
It's been all over the internet for a long time. The idea that Breaking Bad and Walking Dead take place in the same universe.
That's ridiculous.
And Breaking Bad leads up to The Walking Dead. I don't know that it's one of those things where there are a few actors that I think there are a few actors that swap between the two shows, or there are a few like fake background businesses, like off-brand businesses or off-brand things in the back of the show that mesh between the two shows that make it's a fan theory.
Yeah.
I think fan theories are really interesting, but some of them are super far-fetched. I didn't think that sounded as far-fetched as you think it is.
So have you watched? Oh, so what's the prelude to Walking Dead? Is that Fear the Walking Dead or something?
Oh, the one that takes place across the country?
Yeah. And
I don't think it
starts with the plane crash thing, or the plane crash is part of that. Next,
no, you're talking about Lost.
No.
Bringing it back around.
Full circle. We are done here.
Yeah.
We are done. No, we're not done. Yeah. I think it's Fear the Walking Dead. Because there's The Walking Dead and then there's Fear the Walking Dead or something like that.
I don't think I don't think it's supposed to be a prequel, right? I think it takes place at the same time as the first. It just takes place across the country. Different group of people.
Kind of. In the beginning of it.
It started on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then it made its way to the East Coast where
there was an epidemic,
the real show takes place.
And it kind of started off as, this infection started and, things are getting bad.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of that.
Well, there's that part of that show actually has the airplane that crashes, and it crashes because of, well, I don't want to give any spoilers for those that want to see it, so never mind.
The airplane crashes.
There's an airplane that crashes.
Mm-hmm. On an island.
No. In a pool, in a backyard pool.
Oh, really?
Kind of.
It's a small airplane.
Kind of. But they're linked. The two shows are linked.
Okay.
In that aspect. But as
are we talking about a prop plane or like a jetliner?
No, jetliner. Yeah.
What kind of pool does somebody have in their backyard where a jetliner could crash in it?
Just parts, man. Parts.
Okay.
Just parts.
Never mind. I'm thinking like
you got to watch it. If you've not watched that, now you have to watch. I've assigned you.
The plane knocks out an entire neighborhood, but since the nose hit the pool first, you're considering that the section that it crashed in.
The nose does not hit the pool.
Okay.
But the pool and the plane crash are in both shows.
Okay.
So
okay,
you just got to watch it.
All right.
You got to watch it. Oh my god.
I might.
I'm gonna go home and rewatch it.
Have you? Speaking of things you got to watch.
Yeah. Oh, God. Was I assigned something or forgot?
No.
Oh, good. Phew.
No. But I will assign you something. Have you not seen Westworld? Have you not watched the new Westworld series?
Never even heard of it.
Are you kidding me?
I live in a shell that's shaped
so
like
do I, but I know what Westworld is.
That's shaped like a house.
Okay. We will have to get together and either watch it together, or I'll show you how you can watch it because it's an HBO thing.
Oh, okay, sure.
So, and I don't have
probably why
I don't have HBO either, but I'll show you how to watch it totally legally.
Oh, great! I do not know this man.
Yep. But it's
great.
It's fantastic. It's based off of an old film from the 70s. Of the same title, Westworld, but it's a TV show. It's a rebooted TV show that came out the first season came out last year. It's really good.
All right, we'll have to check that out.
Well, let's continue the conversation in a minute, shall we?
That sounds wonderful.
That's a terrible segue, but I don't know how else to.
No.
Yeah.
Let's get back to it in a minute.
We'll get back to it in a minute. Speaking of shows that people should check out, let's take a quick minute to hear a message from our sponsor.
Right on.
Sponsors? Commercial break? Whatever.
Breaking it bad.
And yeah, we're breaking it. Okay, we got to end it on that.
No, we're going to break it good.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, Caleb, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, thank you.
So, we're just winging it.
Yeah,
Just making it up as we go.
Hey, Caleb, what is this on, what are we listening to here? What's going on?
Well, Mr. Connery?
Sure, yes, that's who it is.
Dude, we're listening to a new podcast
It's an old Sean Connery.
Yeah. That's okay. You're getting up there a little bit in age, Mr. Connery, but that's okay. No, what we're listening to is this newfangled thing that the kids are listening to these days called podcasts.
Podcast? What's it? All I know is some Red October thing. That's all I've heard about.
Well, the podcast is like a radio show, except people just kind of do it. They're not on any network or anything. They're just kind of doing it. And this is a new show that just recently got booted up.
Oh, that's amazing. Too bad they don't have agents. They need agents. You know, that'll help out a lot of agents.
No agents. For the most part, people do this kind of stuff for free, but there is a way to support them.
Well, that's fantastic. You know. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
That's okay. So if you'd like to support the World Through Electrospecs podcast or any of the other things that the members of the podcast are working on at the moment, they actually have a Patreon page.
Well, that's fantastic. I'd love to support these guys. They seem like wonderful fellows.
Yeah, they sound awesome.
Yeah, and I sound horrible.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, you have a cold, but that's all right. If you want to support them, you can go to one of the hosts of the show. His name is Caleb Ferris. You can go to his Patreon page, and it's just patreon.com/Caleb Ferris. And on that page, there are a few different levels of support that you can do to kind of give them a little bit of kickback for their show that they're doing.
It seems they need it. It seems like they're on a little bit of a budget, you know.
Yeah,
A small one, you know.
pretty small one. It's a pretty.
You can't hire actors, I hear.
Yeah, they have to resort to bringing in their own okay-ish voice actors. But basically, there are a few different ways you can support their podcast on Patreon. You have 4 different reward levels with various different rewards. You've got the Legend class reward, which is only $4 a month. And with that, you get credited in the credits of all future YouTube videos and on Caleb's personal website. The second level is $7 a month. It's the Scout class supporter level. You get previous rewards plus access to the Patreon exclusive World Through Electrospecs podcast post show, which will be at the end of the episode that we are surely playing this commercial in. The next level is the deluxe class reward level, which is $10 a month. You get access to everything I previously mentioned, plus you also get featured in a special thank you video in Caleb's YouTube channel as well at the end of every month. And then there's the Voyager class supporter level. That's only $20 a month. And at that, you get everything I previously mentioned, plus you get to watch the podcast being recorded in a live stream. And you also have access to a chat window where you can actually interact with them while they're recording the podcast. Essentially be a part of the show from that point forward. You know, as they're recording, you're in that episode till the end of time.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And, you know, me being Sean Connery, you know, it sounds perfect because all those levels are, like, so exploratory and, you know, that kind of stuff. I told you I'm old, you know.
Yeah, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, yeah.
Sean Connery. I must have mispronounced your name earlier.
Oh, well, yeah, just a little bit. That's okay.
That's okay. So yeah, like I said, you can go there. It
Sounds like extraordinary gentlemen is what they sound like.
They do sound like extraordinary gentlemen.
Yeah, like they got to leave, you know. We should let them get back to their show, though. So.
Yep. Again, though, it's patreon.com/Caleb Ferris. That's CalebFairres. And you can support the World Through Electrospecs podcast there. Mr. Sean Canori.
Sean Canori.
Sean Canori. So we're back.
Yep.
That's just that. What were we talking about?
So we were talking about all the different shows. We were talking about how you want me to watch some world show.
Westworld. So do you know anything about Westworld?
I know nothing about Westworld. I know something about West Wing, but that was a stupid show.
That's totally different. Totally different topic. So basically Westworld, without giving away any spoilers, it's a show where it's set in the future, and it's a show where essentially this company has created the future. Okay. This company has created a theme park, or I don't even know if you can really call it a theme park at that point. It's beyond that, where they've created super realistic human-looking robots.
Oh my gosh! You know what?
And it's set in the Wild West, and people pay.
It's a ripoff.
Of what?
It's a ripoff.
Of what?
Kiss meets Phantom of the Park.
Seriously?
I swear to God.
When did that come out?
70 something. 78 maybe.
77. I think the first Westworld was 73.
So maybe they ripped it off.
Yeah, I think because it.
Well, I tell you what.
Something tells me an original 1970s Yul Brynner movie probably wasn't the ripoff of some Kiss thing.
Don't let Gene Simmons hear that because he'll take full credit.
We're talking about Kiss.
Simmons
we're not talking about Metallica
too,
here.
Yeah. No, I'm a big Gene Simmons fan and a Kiss fan. Seen him many times at concert, but Gene Simmons would totally be.
They've been here in Fort Wayne before, haven't they?
Oh yeah. They were here last year. Yeah. No, but they have Kiss meets Phantom of the Park, and it's in a theme park with all these rides, and there's some crazy lunatic guy that works for the park that makes Kiss robots. They're android robot-y things, and the robots end up like imitating, of course, Kiss, but they end up trying to rob something and all this other stuff. So the actual Kiss band this one I'll give you a spoiler on. So the band Kiss actually has to eliminate these robots,
I'm gonna guess this is
in the theme park.
This is a comedic thing. Is it funny or is it serious?
No, this is serious, man. This is a big deal,
Huh.
Yeah.
I would assume that it was Kiss meets Scooby-Doo kind of level of it's kind of a joke.
No joke.
Huh.
No joke at all.
It's a serious movie.
Pretty serious, yeah.
Was it a movie? Like a full-length film?
Yep, feature film kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How come I know why I've never heard of this, but
yeah, the acting, let's just say they're better stage performers.
Okay. Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah. Paul Stanley does a great job in front of the camera, but it's not going to make a movie.
I think Westworld is a lot different than that, though.
Okay, because there's no rock band.
Well, yeah, there's no rock band, but the whole premise of Westworld is to question what it means to be human. When you've got a robot, the phrase, if it looks like a duck, smells like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's probably a duck kind of thing.
All right.
So if you've got a robot, but it bleeds like a human, it feels like a human, it has emotions like a human, and eventually you're questioning the whole show, you're questioning whether or not it actually has sentience, whether or not it actually has its own voice. The whole point of the show is to question, if this robot were to somehow mentally and kind of evolve in a way where it has its own soul, at what point is it really... How different from human is it really at that point?
So how many movies are out there, whether it's today or
that follow that premise,
or the 90s or the 80s or the 70s or 60s or 50s, or what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many movies like that. It's
really?
It could be real. It could be actually human.
The only thing that I could think of was... The only thing I could think of was Ghost in the Shell was a lot similar to that.
That just came out, right?
Yep.
I haven't watched it yet, but
it's based off of an anime from years ago. It was original. Yeah, it was originally an anime. Yeah. We have I highly recommend. Sometime we'll have to watch it together because Joel introduced me to Ghost in the Shell. He showed me the original anime movie. And then it turned in, I think there was another movie or two, and then there was a whole TV series.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Yep,
yeah. Everything
everything that happens in the movie is like a spliced together. They, just for fan service, I forgot to start the timer.
That's all right.
I always forget to start the timer. I'm just gonna set it to.
You probably could have kept talking, not even mentioned it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So everything that happens in the new movie, the Scarlett
Everyone
Johansson
needs
movie.
a timer. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Everything that happens in that movie is like a spliced together storyline from the kind of the bigger points, I guess, of the TV show and movies and everything. But they do, for fan service, they do kind of in the movie almost shot for shot recreate scenes from the first original movie, because that's kind of like the holy grail
Sure.
of what started the whole franchise, I guess.
Right.
Even down to like character costumes looking identical to the cartoon, but in real life. It's well,
As
cartoon,
as
anime,
best you
whatever.
can. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, LaLa Land did a very similar, like Fred Astaire kind of, and who was the actress that always was with him? Or Gene Wilder? No, not Gene Wilder. Oh, good Lord, that would have been fantastic. But yeah, playing homage to the old Broadway shows of the 30s and 40s, 50s and 60s, whatever.
So
But you get my point. So there was a lot of scenes that were set up that were still very similar to the old movies
gotcha.
of the 40s and 50s when
not a whole lot of
color scope just came into fruition. But yeah,
and you probably have more of like a fixed camera type of cinematography where the camera isn't moving around a whole lot.
Yes and no. Yes
Kind of like
no.
it's George Lucas's style is like that too.
But they did in La La Land this one scene that was almost like you could have swore you were watching Gone with the Wind for a moment. Where the camera's sweeping around.
Just from the advertising and everything for that movie, I already got a Gone with the Wind feel. So
there's a lot of old classic films where you kind of go, "Oh my gosh."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's that feel from. They did a great job. Great job. So Ghost in the Shell does the what? Guess what? Robots are human, or aren't they? Or are they? Do they have a soul?
Well, Ghost in the Shell, the premise of Ghost in the Shell is a little bit different, where the idea with Ghost in the Shell isn't that they've created robots that are like humans, so you question what a human is. Mm-hmm. It's more that they've created a way in which if you were to be heavily injured, they've created a new body for you, that your memories and everything that you are is put into a robot, but it's not your original body.
Right. It's
and
not
you're
your
gonna
shell.
live. Yeah, you're a ghost in the shell. That's the whole point. And they refer to consciousness as your ghost, and they refer to the robot body as your shell. And are you really who you are, or are they just what? I mean, you would have died. So are you who you used to be? Are you somebody new? Are you what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just kind of some weird questions.
It starts exploring some of the paranormal out of body experiences, kind of.
Right. Because you can visit your own grave.
Oh.
I mean, if you were in a situation,
is that a thing in the film or in the series or?
I can't remember with the original movie, but I do know that with the live action movie that was just released, there was a little bit of a, and it's not really a storyline spoiler. I wouldn't say it's a spoiler. It's just something that happens in the movie at some point. Just from the perspective of, I'll just say, if you were in a situation where you find out that when you were given your new body, some of your memories have been fabricated.
Oh, well, that goes against the whole idea then.
Exactly. And the fact that you can go back and revisit your past, but look at it as if you've never seen it before. It's something you've done. It's something you've done. It's a place you've been to. It's a life that you had, but you don't remember it. You remember a different life.
Which is why that makes a better story or a better movie, because, to say, guess what? If you're almost dead or we're dying or we're going to die and we give you this new shell, everything's cool, man, you can keep going on forward, that would really make kind of a boring movie. It'd be like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But you throw that extra twist in there, then you're like, oh, man, people were messing with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The idea of going to visit your parents but they don't. They think you're dead and they don't recognize you because your body looks different, but you are you and you remember them. They think you're just a stranger.
Which is weird because you were just saying part of the story too is there's things that are implanted in that weren't there before. So, kind of interesting.
Super interesting stuff. And I like those things that kind of make you question, like, okay, if I were in that situation, what would I think is okay or not? That's what a lot of Westworld does that too, where it's like, if this is a robot that looks like a human, talks like a human, acts like a human, feels like a human, and you go and you pay $40,000 to be in this park for a day, and you go have sex with one of them, are you cheating?
Whoa.
Or if you kill one,
are you a murderer?
Are you a murderer? Exactly. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. It's a pretty graphic show on both of those. It's HBO. So So, but from not just from showing that, but also from from asking the question standpoint, there's a lot of that in the show where it's like people show up and they don't want to kill anybody, and they're like, no, I have a wife at home, that kind of stuff. And then other people show up and they're like, let's party because everything that happens here stays here, and these are just robots. Who cares? But then there's some people who accidentally fall in love with certain characters, or accidentally, like, their mindset from a moral core standpoint, they are now ruined for the rest of their life because they feel like they've murdered somebody. But then there's other people who are like, it's just a robot, who cares? Right. So it's interesting seeing those different types of people and how they would react to those kind of things. It's a good show. It's interesting.
I wonder if it crosses the idea of like a hard drive.
Okay.
Wherever you go on the internet, that's recorded in your cache. It's in there, it's buried, it's deep down in the bowels of your computer, and people can. There's like record of that.
I know that there are people who are controlling the park that kind of tailor the experience towards where you're going and what you're doing, but I don't think it's really recorded, and it's not like it's sent home to tell your mom or to tell your wife. I think it's.
What year is that taking place?
They don't say in the show, but if I remember correctly, there was like a calendar that was released on the website. The website for the show, it doesn't look like HBO's Westworld. The website is actually like. It looks like a travel location. It tells you all the amenities of the park. You can set dates to go visit it and all that stuff. Okay. It's like a real website. It's like a immersive experience, like a alternate reality type of website kind of thing. But I believe fans found that there was a calendar on the website, or like a string of coding from the website that made it seem like the show takes place in like the 2050s or something like that.
Okay.
So it's $40,000 a day, a night to stay in this. But I mean, in that time frame, that might not be as bad. It's still for the rich people, but it's not as crazy.
30 years from now, that's still high price.
It's still high price, but who knows what could happen at that point? And they don't show what goes on outside the park. You don't know what the world looks like outside the park. So I mean, the economy could have totally changed by then.
So is it a futuristic looking park then?
No, that's the fun part. It's everything that takes place in the main facilities for the park, where they're controlling the park, where they're rebuilding the robots, where they're repairing the robots, where they're building the horses and building the bodies to put the programming in to make the robots. All of that is super futuristic, super awesome. Everything in the park is like it's the Wild West. It's like a spaghetti western.
Oh,
it's It's a Wild West themed park.
Wild West, Westworld, Wild West.
So somebody shows up and they're wearing kind of like business suits, and they're showing up on this futuristic bullet train, and they're going up this escalator, and everything's white panels and reflective,
That's
and
behind
LED lights and everything.
Park.
They walk into a room, they put on cowboy gear, and then there's like a white hallway that leads up to an old-fashioned wooden door with stained glass windows, and then you walk through there, and the other side of the hallway is the train. It's the train car that's in the old locomotive, and it's taking you through the park.
Do they play like Will Smith's Wild Wild West?
No, they don't. No. That would be great though.
What about
do you know?
I think the old
Anthony Hopkins is in it.
Oh,
you don't know who that is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. He's a fantastic actor.
I was going to say, like, in the back of my head, I hear, like, old school hip-hop UTFO with no, not UTFO. Someone did the Wild Wild West. Wild, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're thinking
That's not Will Smith.
I don't think
it's not UTFO, but... Whatever.
No, I think it's a little bit more poppy than that.
I am just bad with names.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, this is not poppy. This is old school hip-hop. Wild Wild West.
I'm trying to think of what you're thinking of, and I'm not thinking of it. I can't think of
I
it.
went downtown, 129th Street. No, it's not Will Smith or like Jazzy Jeff or anything like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Gosh. See, I'm just bad with names. There's just no doubt about it.
You're bad
Just
with actors and actresses and music groups and
Yeah, I had that conversation with two gentlemen that were here last night. I say gentlemen. They're gentlemen. They're nice guys. It was Ryan and Cam. So I can remember names like in my short-term memory, but long-term, forget it. But they would like to be on a podcast someday.
yeah,
Yes, they would.
that would be awesome. We'd like to get some more people involved in the podcast.
They are from the Indiana Film Network thing, whatever. They're
IFN.
young
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're young aspiring filmmakers.
The young asparagus.
Yeah, and they're working on a current film with a friend of ours who does movie makeup.
Who?
Oh, Alan Etter.
Alan.
Etter from Studio 304.
The studio we're recording in.
And
you act like we don't know who that is.
well, our listeners don't, so
Oh,
let them know.
yeah.
But
Mr.
the
Alan
film's
Etter.
got a very interesting premise. It's something with humans and dinosaurs, and humans migrate into dinosaurs and stuff like that, and become dinosaurs and whatever. But he's doing some of the makeup for them. Met them last night, so someday maybe we'll hear from Ryan and Cam. I remember
Weird.
their name.
We'll have to talk to them sometime soon about the possibility of getting together. Possibly have some more people on the show in the future. So
And talk about things I can remember names next time.
okay,
I'll see what I can do. No
right.
promise.
we should probably wrap up.
I'm ready.
All right, Pete, where can people find you?
Where they can find me? Oh,
Yeah.
They can find me
Website,
all
that kind of
around
stuff?
the world. I have my website is petebella.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me on Flickr. You can find me in a lot of places. I'm pretty transparent, so I'm out there.
Is your
Look for
username
me.
pretty the same for most of them?
Yeah, it's either Pete
Pete
Bella
Bella.
Jr. or P Bella Jr.
P Bella Jr.
So Twitter, whatever. Yeah, seek me out.
Yep.
I'm around.
Awesome. And I've got pretty much the same thing going on. My website is just my name, calebferris.com.
So much easier that way.
CALEBFAIRRES. A lot of people don't know how to spell that. They think it's like Ferris Bueller or Ferris Wheel.
Interesting.
Anyways, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you in the next episode, I guess.
Sayonara. See ya.
Talk to you later.